Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Apothecary Diaries Season 2 episode number 18 reaction. Alright, the previous episode, quite a few things happened. Obviously Mao Mao has been taken and so has, Shisui has also been taken. Along with Mao Mao, they were brought to like a certain place, but before we reached there, we understood that Shisui actually knows Suire, and both of them are sisters. Now I'm not sure if they're blood related or not, or what's going on, or they just call each other like as sisters. I guess we'll get that later. Maybe I'm pretty sure they're blood related because their faces are very similar. Even their names are very similar, facial structure, hairstyle, and everything. Yeah. Either way, right, and we are taken to like a place, like a village, kind of in a like in the deep side, in the side of forest, and they brought Mao Mao here, and Mao Mao realized that probably the envoys are also here, like living here. She also kind of got a glimpse of an envoy, one of the foreign envoys, like walking through the crowd. So we don't know what they are planning with her, but for now it seems like it's like just a normal little village, and yeah, nothing else. They're preparing for like a festival, and that's all we know now. While over there, obviously people are trying to find Mao Mao. Like we get to see, like them, like taking clues and properly deducing. By the end of it, Jinchi was able to deduce which direction they went, and Mama also kept like a little note so that what was his name? I forgot his name again. Mama's like father, the one who adopted her. He will be able to figure out, and he did figure out. He figured out the clue, and at least like Jinshi and everyone is like on the correct path. And yeah, let's see what happens. Anyways, let us begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's get started. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about this. Kyokyo is in labor, yeah. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Hmm. Nice. Wait, so did the baby turn, or is she 10 days? Wow. Hmm. Damn. Hey. He's just. Look at the cat. Yeah, even the cat is like. Right. Hmm. Ooh, here we go. Oh, I guess that's the name she went with. Bring her a shrine. Right, the shrine. Okay. Gifts of those. Oh, okay. So she knew. Oh yeah, we did see this kind of. I yeah. I couldn't read the name because it's in Japanese. Wait, that's Shenlu, right? Oh yeah, she's panicking. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say the smell because of being in contact with Mama. Mm. Right. Mm. Right. Oh my God. Yeah. A big. Mm. She has her own trauma too. Oh boy. Yeah, he looks very much similar to the previous Nishi. Yeah. Mm. Damn, she immediately figured it out. Wow. Right. Because of the similarity he has. Oh boy. Um. Right. Oh no. Hey. Oh no. She's. But yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. We need to take her to Loman. Yeah, he didn't really see him in his when he was young. Oh my god. He was doing that. I had no. Hmm. Okay, let's see the name. What's written there? Uh, what's the name? Yeah, we saw that in that village as well, right? Taiho, Taiho. Wait, let me- Oh, that okay. One of the concubines, lady in waiting. Wait, she passed away last. Only one person is related to Taiho by daughter after. Oh, that's her. Wait, then wait. Okay, I'm just getting so confused here. Wait a minute. So concubine that Taiho's. Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, I was trying to find the connection. The daughter of Taiho and the doctor. So they are sisters, and that proves that Shisui is Zolan. There you go. Right? I think so. I don't think you can find Lolan. She's not here. And then everything will get proved if she's not here. Alright, nah, man. This must be a body double. This must be a body double. Come on. I refuse to believe that Shizu is not Lolan. Oh, there you go. Everyone looks literally like her. Look at this. Yeah, that is a body double. Come on. Oh, there you go. There you go. Yep. 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 That's why she suddenly brought so many ladies in waiting. Each of them are like they're body doubles. Yeah, Shisui is Lolan. There you go. Wow. Yeah. Crazy. Hmm. Damn. Yeah, they brought in. That's why. Okay, don't scare her. She's not really at fault here. She's just doing what she was told. Right. Okay, I think you should calm down. Hello? Yeah, like they're just doing what they were told to. Like the right. They're not really at fault here. Hmm. Well, there you go. That proves it. Wouldn't be returning. So what? They were supposed to be playing her role for like what forever or something? What's going on? Like what? Or maybe like they had like a certain goal before that is ah every available. Hmm. Right. Yep. True. Trying to quit. Yeah, that is true. Why would she write that? Oh no. She's yeah, yeah. Oh god. Yep. It was a matter of time. It was a matter of time he knew. Alright. Whoa. What yeah, who told? Well, he has his like, connections and oh, Shisho is missing as well? Okay. I doubt that. Hmm. Or who knows? Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. I don't think so. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We still haven't seen Mao Mao today at all. Like, we're just focusing on Jinshi's section. Uh. Oh, this is Lakan's that person, right? We see him in the opening. Is he? Yep, it is him. You see him in the opening. Lahan. Oh. Hmm. Yeah, adopted son. What is that? The journal for the national receipt journal. Oh, okay. Right, right. Most obvious no. Oh. Ah. Right. I wonder why. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So Shisho, like they were already like suspecting him. Huh? Yeah. 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 Oh my God. Yeah, that he actually crashed into it. Okay. No, we're finally here. We really saw anything with, in this site today. All right, there you go. So yeah, it was proof today that Lolan is actually Shisui. Otherwise, like they didn't explicitly say that, oh, she's Lola. It's pretty obvious if you put two and two together. Like they talked about Sweet A, how, like, who is her parents, then the fact that like that person, the concubine got transferred to Shisho, and Lolan is Shisho's child, so they're half, like they're half related, right? No, wait. Yeah, they're half related. Half sisters. So since Shisui calls Suire as sister, and both call each other sister, and you can see the facial structure and everything is very similar as well. So you know it's pretty obvious that, yeah, these two are actual sisters, and since Shisho's daughter is Lolan, this proves Lolan is Shisui. So it's a bit of like a roundabout thing, but if you put all the clues on the table and try to arrange it, that's what it'll be revealed. At this point, it's pretty obvious. Okay. And there you go. That was today's episode. So yeah, like I said, it wasn't explicitly said that Shisui and Lolan are the same person, but it was heavily hinted to it. Like all the clues were given to us, which like points towards that direction. We also get the relationship between like Shisui and Suire. Like literally in the beginning of today's episode, I was saying like I do wonder if they're actually related or they just call each other sisters, like like that. So yeah, they're actually related. It was obviously it's pretty obvious now, like because they talked about that person. What was her name? The grave, the person's grave that they went to. Right? Yeah. So from that like whole section, it was completely like like revealed that the daughter, like her daughter is Suire, and since she was like transferred to Shisho, like Shisho's daughter, who is Lolan, uh, they are actually related, half siblings, and since they're half siblings, and Shisui calls Suire as sister, and vice versa. Yeah, that kind of proves that Shisui is actually Lolan. While another thing also kind of points in that direction is the body doubles. Why, like, that's why all these body doubles are just there. She suddenly got like so many like ladies in waiting, and each of them really looked like her, and like, yeah, so that's what's going on. So there you go. That was the mystery, and yeah, like I feel like a lot of people will get surprised here after realizing that Lolan is Shisui, but I literally call this from that episode, like when they that ghost episode where they showed and where Mama was kind of like, oh, like I feel like I know her or something like that. She kind of said, and they kind of showed her Shisui in a more like close manner. They took like a gave like a close up of her face, and her mannerisms really reminded me of Lolan, and I was like, yeah, it's a possibility that she's Lolan. And then all that is left to do is just compare these two characters picture. Compare them, you'll literally see, like the only difference between Lolan and Shisui is like Lolan puts her hair up in a bun. That's it. The hair color, the eye color, everything is the same. um right. And I guess the makeup, the makeup and the ornaments that she wears, those also kind of like like make us not understand that these two characters are the same. Yeah, like Lolan's makeup and the little ornament that she wears on her hair. Yeah, these two are also kind of shows that, yeah, like you cannot figure it out properly unless until you take a very close look. Right. So, anyways, so yeah, it was kind of showed today. That whole section that was shown today, and little by little, Jinshi is kind of trying to figure out where Mao Mao has been taken, what is going on, and yeah. Now, another thing, I still think still there's like a few clues left to be revealed. I feel like because I still don't know what exactly they're planning. Like like Shisho also went missing suddenly. So is he connected to this whole thing that is going on, or like what is happening here? Like like what is the plan? Like you have to remember that they weren't really trying to kidnap Mao. They were just like Mama herself went and talked to Shenlu that day, and she kind of got trapped over there when the Suide came in, and she was like, oh, she literally figured everything out, and Shenlu was like, what? Figured everything out? So their plan had nothing to do with Mama. It was probably like a very separate plan. Also, Shisui had no plans on coming in front of Mama either, because they kind of revealed in the previous episode, I think, like something along the lines of how the cat was the reason why she had to come out. And the cat, or like Mama figured out like where the cat was, and very close to finding out the secret of that place. So she had to come out to distract, I guess, Mama from that. So yeah, so all of these kind of shows, like obviously Mamo has nothing to do with this whole thing, because I can say that, like, I'm bringing this point up because in the previous episode, there was a section where Mama was thinking if they are trying to, like, take Mama hostage because of her connection to Lakan, but that is not the case. I'm thinking, because obviously they initially, they really had, like, Mama wasn't really part of their plan. She just bumped into this whole thing and figured everything out. That's why they decided to bring her with them. So whatever their plan is, don't know. I don't know, like I genuinely don't know what they're trying to do. Like, a few, like, weird things that are going on. First and foremost, obviously the whole thing with them attacking, like, like using Feifa. If Shiso is involved with that, because that's what Lakan have been suspecting. um and in today's episode as well, they kind of were saying, like, oh, like, the increased like expenses on grain. Not only that, like, like expenses, like, like the iron prices also increased. Like, those things, it kind of show that, like, Shiso is probably trying to, like, diverting funds in a different way and doing something secretly, which involves, like, these guns, Feifas, and, like, those people. So it kind of heavily points towards the direction that Shisho is trying to, I don't know, like, what is he trying to do? Is he trying to assassinate the, like, like, yeah, like, that's what she tried to do. They tried to assassinate um Jinshi. So all these things, like, we're not really clear about what's going on, and then suddenly in this weird time Shisho just disappeared. So what's up with that as well? Also, like, another thing I'm trying to think is, like, whatever is going on with Suide and Shisui in that place, and with the envoys, because the envoys are also there. Is that connected to whatever Shisho is doing? Like, all these questions I'm thinking, like, are these two things that are happening are separate? Like, whatever Shisho is doing is completely separate from what Shisui and Suide are trying to do. So, all these questions, let's wait and see. I feel like today we saw Jinshi's section, and then maybe next episode we'll see more of Mao Mao's section. Then that will probably shed light into a lot of things that we don't really understand currently, and we'll realize what is going on if they reveal something, gives us some more clues in the next episode. Right. But yeah, some kind of conspiracy is going on, which Mao Mao literally just entangled herself into. She wasn't really involved in any of this, and she just got it, like, tangled up and just, right. Okay. Now, one thing is pretty sure is that the resentment, as like, as they said, as Jinshi said, that the late emperor had a lot of victims, like those all those girls, those young girls, and obviously one of them was also Shenlu as well. As we saw, Shenlu kind of saw Jinshi's face, and she was like, "Oh, like, what are you doing? Like, why are you, like, wasting your life as an eunuch?" Like, she immediately just recognized him, you know. Um, so right, and not only that, like, every single person in the clinic were also obviously, like, victims. So even though they have no idea what Shenlu and the others are trying to do, they're still helping them out because of the shared resentment they have. And one of these person, well, like, the person's grave that this they are going to is called, let me read this. Taiho. That's the name. The name of the court lady who passed away last year. Okay, now you know what? This is okay. Jinshi says she used to gather women around to tell ghost stories. We literally had this, and I'm assuming this happened earlier than 1 year, or I'm not sure. Like, I have no idea how time goes in this show. But when we got that episode with the, like, where literally I realized that Lolan is actually Shisui, um, that episode, did that happen after she died? If that's what happened, then I'm assuming the person who called the meeting this time was someone else. Who was it? Was it Shenyu? It might be. Who knows? Because I have no idea. Anyways, but that's why I'm saying if that happened before 1 year, like 1 year passed after that, then it's the same person. Taiho was that person probably. But that's why I'm trying to think, like the timing, where that happened, when exactly that happened. But anyways, yeah, she used to gather women around, tell ghost stories. She was the lady in waiting to one of the concubines. Okay, so right, and after that she says, okay, her relatives were, okay, only one person is related to Taiho by blood. During the late emperor's reign, she gave birth to a daughter after an affair with a doctor, right? That daughter is Suide. If that daughter is still alive, yeah, and this is where she, like, Jinshi put two and two together, because like, it makes sense, because from here he was like, okay, so if she had a daughter and she was later transferred to Shisho, and Shisho also has a daughter who is Lolan, then Lolan and that girl are siblings, half siblings. And like, and he put everything together, two and two together. And right, okay, so then he, like, goes to the Garnet Pavilion to check whether he's intent, like, his what he's thinking is correct or not, to see where Lolan is. Okay, so we see two-person here whose face is, like, shaded. We cannot see who it is. One of them, I'm assuming, is that girl, that lady, Taiho, and the other person is, I'm assuming, she shows, like, like Lolan's mother, right? Again, I'm just guessing at this point. The concubine that Taiho served was later given to Shisho. There you go. She gave birth to. Oh no, that's the same person. Okay, so it's just aged. Like, yeah, because like time passed and she. Yeah, it's the same person. Never mind. I thought that was two different persons. It's the same person. So one was like how she, like, when she was young, and the other one is when she was a little bit, like, aged. Okay, she gave birth to a daughter who is Lolan, concubine Lolan. The daughter is, as for daughter of Taiho and the doctor, um, there's no record of what happened to her, either her or the doctor, who was ousted from the Rare Palace. Right. There you go. That is like the whole section where everything gets proved. And obviously after that, literally, like, Jinshi comes in, and like, yeah, he immediately figured out that this is a body double. And not only her, the person that was here, every single person in this room, like all the new people that Lolan brought in, as a lady in waiting, they all literally look the same. Their makeup, their hairstyle, everything is like the same as Lolan. So they can, like, switch in and, like, act as her body doubles, while Shisui went about in the Rare Palace acting as a servant girl while trying to come in contact with Suide, because that's what she's been trying to do. And this whole thing kind of, like, whatever their plan was, kind of got figured out by Mao Mao, so she had to come in front of Mao Mao, so she didn't decipher more stuff. And that's why she showed her face in front of Mao Mao with the cat. And then obviously she had to become, like, like, she became friends with Mao Mao, and, like, all that stuff happened. And now fast forward, we are here. Whatever their plan was is in full throttle now. I feel like she probably wouldn't have involved Mao Mao, but literally on that day, like, Mao Mao came in and was talking to Shenliu, and, like, they realized that she figured out everything, you know. Yeah, and Shenliu didn't realize that, but she figured out everything, and in the end, 3 Day comes in with Shisui, and that whole thing plays out like that. So, yeah. So obviously, like, the basic, the main factor that is on at play here is definitely the resentment. But like I said, I don't exactly know what they're trying to do. We know who and why, but we don't know what they're trying to do. Like, so that's the only thing that is left to figure out, which we'll probably know later on. Okay. Now another thing I need to talk about here is when Jinshi was talking to Shenlu, in the place, in the cemetery, where, like the graveyard, and she was there, like, giving flowers to the Taiho's grave, and that part. So she, at first she didn't realize, but then she, when, like, Jinshi grabbed her hand and was talking in a very sweet, because, at first he was kind of furious. He was like, oh, where is she? And then when he realized, like, oh no, I'm now English Jinshi, I should calm myself down and, use the usual fake smile that I use. So he was like, oh, where's the freckled, like, lady that works, and that really triggered her memory of the past, where, like, the previous emperor, that whole thing. Right. And yeah, so that's what's going on, and she remembered that, and immediately she looked at him and she realized that, oh, they're related, and she was like, what is someone like you doing here, like, yeah. And then using that confusion, because, Jinshi immediately got a shock, and she tried to run away, but then, we saw she tried to ingest the poison and they made her throw it out, but Jinshi was affected by that, you know and Jinshi here says, where is that section? Okay, this part. I'm going to read this whole section. So, he says, Gaoshun, do I look like him? Because obviously they never really saw his face properly as a young person. Like, and back in the days, the only, like, evidence of what a certain someone looked like was paintings. Probably they didn't have cameras, so, he's like, do I look like him enough to make someone drink poison out of fear? And Gaoshun is like, yeah. In my memory, he was already a withered old man, right? Then he says, and this is where we get to know why he's like in an over here in the rare palace as a eunuch. Okay, I didn't look like my mother or my brother. Okay, so right. So wait. Okay, wait a minute. So, whoa, who he's meaning here by mother is the, no, that's a grandmother. So, the empress. What did they call her? Empress Dowager, right? She's his grand. This is the part where I always get confused. Like, I know what is going on, but the whole relationship chart of Jinshi and his is so damn confusing. Like, because, there's like one thing going on in the background, one thing that is actual reality, like, and then we have the, like, official version that is outside to other people that everyone knows, the lie, the fake, like, thing. So, and all these characters look exactly of the same age. Empress Dowager, like, look at her and look at Jinshi, they look exactly as the same age. Who the hell would think that's his grandmother? Like, that's why I also make, this is another mistake that I make, because I just try to associate the characters and how they look like with their age, but in this show that's literally impossible to do. Like, okay, so her mother that she's thinking is obviously, like, yeah. So that, and obviously the late emperor. Now, the reason why they do not look the same, and she also says, like, oh, my brother, which is the current emperor. So we know, which obviously, like, I guess Jinshi and, like, like, doesn't know about it. Mama figured it out though, which is, we know that Adu and current emperor, they are the parents of Jinshi. So Jinshi is not the brother of the current empire. In reality, he is the son of the current emperor, right? Again, everything that I'm saying, correct me if I'm wrong, because like I said, this is the part which like always it comes like and confuses me. Even though I know what the hell is going on, it still confuses the hell out of me. So so yeah, the Adu and the current emperor are the biological parents of Jinshi. Jinshi doesn't know that. That is why Jinshi's like, I don't look like my brother or my mother, like or my like the previous emperor. We don't even know how he looks like because he looked so old. That's why he was saying, do I really look like the previous emperor when he was young, Gaoshun? Um, but the reason why he cannot find a similarity is because he's trying to find the similarity in the wrong people. Adu is the correct person, even though he is the biological son, biological child of Adu and the current emperor. He looks nothing like the current emperor, I think. Well, maybe there's a little bit of similarity, but not much. Looks exactly like Adu. So he got most of his looks from Adu, and that is the one person that he's not thinking about because he has no idea. Like so that's why he's saying like I don't look like my brother, I don't look like my mother. Like do I really look like the previous emperor? So that is what is kind of like in his head. So okay, now I'm going to read the rest of it. So I believed, okay, so he can see that he used to overhear people saying that I wonder where he got his looks from. Given the emperor's tastes, it couldn't be the empress, not at her age. There you go. Yeah, so that's why people thought he was an illegitimate child. That's why everyone's saying he's an illegitimate child. Yeah. And you can see Jinshi's like, curled up and just, you know. So then I believe the rumors that said that I had no connection to him, tried to escape the position of the crown prince. I begged my brother, the emperor, to let me take on a eunuch of the family. Yeah, and plant myself in the garden of women. All for what? Right. How ridiculous. Okay, there you go. And that is it. I needed to read that part because, like that section kind of shows Jinshi and, like what he thinks about this whole situation. Alright, so there you go. And that was that. So I don't think there was anything else here. That was all that we saw. Oh, and the final scene with where we get to meet Lahan, right? I think that was his name. Wait a minute. Just a minute. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Lahan, yeah, Khan Lahan. So he is the adopted son of Lakan, and so I'm guessing that makes him the yeah, it makes him stepbrother, right, of Mama. Is that how it works? Wait a minute. Someone's no. Is that how it works? Like if you obviously Mama was a biological daughter of Lahan. Sorry, Lakan, and that lady from the Verdi's house. I forgot her name. So since Lakan adopted Lahan, and he does not share any like blood relations with Mama, does that make him her stepbrother? Let me know. I don't know if that's how it works. Because usually it's like like oh your father or your mother remarried and yeah, like no, does it? Mm, yeah, I guess stepbrother, right? Yeah, so something like that. Anyways, so in ending section you can see he asks for like he tells Jinshi about the whole situation, what he suspects in a weird way. You can see that he doesn't really say anything. He just like hints towards those like things. Like he was like, oh, like I wonder why suddenly the grain, like the expenditure suddenly went up. I wonder why the amount of iron, like price suddenly went up. And she's like, this guy, he's like, yeah, he's just hinting. He knows what he's saying, and he knows what he's trying to imply, but he's not really saying it. He's letting Jinshi say it himself. So you know I guess as a precautionary measure, just in case, like, like, oh, I didn't say anything, like, I just implied it. But anyways, he kind of said all of that, and and Jinshi was like, okay, I see what you're trying to do. And in the end, he was like, what do you want from me? And he was like, oh, my father just broke the like gate or something. When he got to know that Mama has been taken, he's like, can you help out with that? Yeah. Anyways, now Jinshi is like, all right, I'll use anyone that I can. I have to find Mama. Okay, so that is what happened, or what is going on in Jinshi's part of like the whole thing. Now, next episode we'll probably get to see what's happening to Mama while all of this is going on in the palace. Right. Okay, and there you go. That was today's episode. That was a really good episode. It shed a light into a lot of things. Obviously, a big revelation that wasn't really that big to me because I already kind of suspected it. The whole thing with Lolan and Shisui. And then we had like like a lot of other like information that we never knew about Shisui, Suire, their like parents, like like Shisho, like Taiho, all these like like information we get, and right. So it is kind of like this whole like thing, all this information, it's kind of developing into something, but we still don't know the most crucial information, that is what is Shisui and Suide trying to do, what is Shiso trying to do, and all these things. And another thing, like Shisui, or like Lolan, I guess, at this like like situation, Lolan said that she's not going to come back after again. So like wherever they're trying to do that, and they're trying to just leave the palace completely. So that's what's happening. And that's why he brought so many like like ladies in waiting to probably keep the ruse that is going, this fake thing going up until up until they can, until like like they figure out that these are body doubles, which literally happened. Like it literally was like Jinshi literally figured out immediately when he came and saw them. But yeah, that was probably her plan, to keep this going up until they can, to buy some time, I guess. But yeah, now that we know what's going on, Jinshi is yeah, Jinshi's like right on their tail, he knows what is going on. The only thing that he doesn't know is like where they have taken Mao Mao. So that's what is left to be figured out. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, that was my overall impression of today's episode. Now let me talk about this episode scene by scene. Alright, in the very first section, we have obviously Gyokyo. She is in labor, so she is being taken care of by Loman. Right, and for now she is stable. Uh, so yeah, that's that. The doctor, the quack doctor, he's kind of just getting very agitated. He's like, oh, what should I do? And Jinshi's like, oh, it's nice to see. Not nice, but it's like calming to see someone who's more panicked than me. It kind of calms me down. Right. Anyways, and then after that, okay. Then after that, wait a minute. Wait, just a minute. Oh, okay, yeah, I remembered. After that, Gaoshin tells him that they, like, like asked about the eunuch that got missing, and he used a name here. I forgot that name, but obviously that was a fake name. And like people say that he was going to the graveyard, and obviously Jinshi's like, all right, so let's go then over there. And apparently there was a particular grave that he was always looking at. So Jinshi goes there, and this is where he bumps into Shenru on in front of the same grave, and this is where all those things happen. Where like from the smell, he realizes that Mama probably came in contact with her, And then he grabs her. He's like, "Oh, where is Mama?" At first, he was very agitated, but then when he calmed down and he was acting, using his like usual smile and everything, that triggered memories in Shen Lu's mind, and and yeah, she was like, "Oh, what are you doing here? Why are you like wasting your life over here? Why summon your status pretending to be eunuch or something like that?" She said, "Yeah, not wasting your life, but why are you doing this?" Um, and this startled Jinshi so much that she tried to run away, and then she ingested poison. Hopefully, thankfully, we were able to make her throw it out and took her to you know get proper medical care. But this is where Jinshi is kind of wondering about the whole thing that she said, and he's like, "Do I really look like him?" And this is where he talks to Gaoshun whether he looks like the previous emperor, and how people said that she literally he she doesn't, where does he get his looks from? Probably legitimate child. People said all of those things to him when he was a kid. And Jinshi also believed that, and he decided not to take any kind of emperor, any type of responsibility about being an emperor or all that. He was like, "I'm an illegitimate child, so I'm just." He asked his brother, and decided to just go as a eunuch, and he's in the rare palace. So that is what happened. Right. Anyways, back to the present situation. Jinshi then reads the name. It is Taiho, and they get to know that Taiho is supposed to be uh, the lady in waiting of one of the concubines, right? Yeah. Wait, just a minute, lady. Yeah. So they also get to know this. It is also revealed that Taiho had only one person related by blood in the rare palace. That is what's his name? Her name. Uh, Obviously, they don't really say it here, but obviously it's pretty obvious who it is. It is Shisui. Sorry, not Shisui. Sorry, Suide. And this Nobody knows about where this kid went. No information, nothing. What we know is that Taiho was then taken in by Shisho, and Taiho had a daughter with Shisho, who is Lola. So Nolan and this person, the other child, they are half siblings. Now, as soon as he realizes all of this, he puts two and two together, and Jinshi immediately realizes what this is implying, and how Lolan is involved with this whole incident. So he immediately goes to Lolan to see what's going on. So they go in, and then I was like, yeah, it is going to be revealed here that Lolan is Shisui. But then we saw that Lolan is literally sitting there, and I'm like, right. But I was like, yeah, I was thinking, in no way, can anyone say at this point that Lolan is not Shisui? Whichever person we're seeing in front of us is probably a body double. And it also did I did also find it odd that all her ladies in waiting literally looked the same as her. you know so, and that is why, and it gets revealed why, because he brought them particularly because they look like her, so that they can act as a body double for her. Um and this is where we have Jinshi immediately figured out. He saw the mole over here, and he's like, "Oh, who the hell are you?" And then he kind of says, he's like, "Yeah, Lolan brought in 7 ladies in waiting. One of them is missing. Where is that person? Tell me, where is that person? So one of you are missing. Either one of you guys are missing, or Lolan herself is missing, because you are acting as Lolan. You're not Lolan." And as soon as he says that, he even says he remembers every person, every lady in waitings, how they look like, what type of marks, like birthmarks or whatever they have on their on their face or whatever. And he says you have a mole over here, and he literally tells her name. Yeah, you are this person. I forgot what the name was. And immediately he kind of and then one of the other ladies in waiting is comes in and shields her from him. And she's like, "We don't know what the hell is going on. Just I'll tell you what's going on. No, what we were told to do. So she reveals everything, and so what Lolan told them is, as quoted, she wouldn't be returning. So that is what she said. So she left the rare palace. Obviously, that in itself is a crime, I guess. Same with she saw also just disappeared. Later on, we get to know. Right. Anyways, now after that, while all of this is happening and they're figuring everything out little by little, Lakan gets to know what is going on with Mama. He gets pissed off and he just bumps into the gate and just breaks it, I guess. Later on, we get to know that Shenlu is fine. Shenlu is not fine, still in unconscious, but she's not in danger. Okay. Now, this is where they also kind of reveal that nobody in the clinic knew about what's going on, but the fact that they don't know what's going on, but still they're helping these guys, Taiho and all of them. Taiho's not alive anymore, but whatever they're trying to do, like they're helping them out, kind of shows the shared resentment that they have towards the rare palace. And now that the previous emperor is gone, yeah, this is kind of just coming out, and people are just right. And I guess it kind of makes sense, because up until now, since back in the days when the emperor was still alive, all of the we've seen this thing that they say multiple times. They always say, like, even I think that there was another person in one of the previous episodes. I forgot that who that person, the person's name, or and everything like that. But another similar person who was like a victim of the previous emperor. Oh, it's literally the Empress Derwager. Yeah, her. Um, in the end, they always say, like, obviously at first when the emperor comes, when they're literally children, and then as they grow up, the emperor just doesn't come to them at all and just leaves them alone and everything, and they never see him at all. That is something that every all of these people who have been with the emperor have said. And they also say another thing, which is that they always wait for him, to wishing that he would come, but that never happens. And that is why I think now that the emperor is gone, their resentment is just coming out. Like, it doesn't have a particular target, but they are like focusing on the rare palace and this whole thing. And this shared resentment is the reason why whatever is going on now is going on. And the people in the clinic, they don't know what's going on, but they are still helping them, because they know that, yeah, these people are the same as us. um okay. Now, you know what, this is another thing. Taiho isn't really involved with the whole emperor situation, but she was one of the lady in waiting, so I think she probably had a lot of sympathy and a lot of connection to these people who are all these victims of the previous emperor. So that is why she probably shared the same kind of sentiment. And not only that, all the other people here who are a victim of the previous emperor, they also equally probably loved Taiho. And that's why you can see, Shenlu goes to her grave and is like mourning for her. And yeah, so you know what, we still don't have the proper picture as to what's going on with Taiho, and what happened, but I guess we'll get to know little by little. But it is pretty clear that Taiho and all these other people, they had a very strong connection, yeah. Okay. And I guess Taiho is probably that character we see in the opening, right, with the mask and one of the fingernails is like quite big. That person that we see, we saw her as well, today, like her face was like not shown, but besides Shisho, they brought their picture up, and like an elderly person, as we see. Right. So that is, I think that is Taiho. Let's wait and see. Anyways, Yeah, now after that we get to meet with Lahan, and Lahan then, like, kind of shows Jinshi about the official, the documents, and he talks about how like a lot of grain is being consumed, a lot of, like, iron price has suddenly increased, implying what is going on. And Jinshi's like, okay, I see what you're trying to do. Also, Shisho has disappeared, so this is also something that Jinshi is thinking, if she is involved with this whole situation that is happening. No, all these questions. Anyways, Jinshi tells him to do more research on this, figure more stuff out, and he'll help him with the gate cross that broke, like that Lakan broke. And yeah, that is where it ended. So, oh, then we have the final scene, a very brief section of Mao Mao just like looking outside, and the mask is there, the fox mask. Okay, and there you go. That was my reaction to episode number 18 of Apothecary Diaries season 2. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. And that is it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Apothecary Diaries. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.